Hare Krishna. Welcome to the class. So we will start our class now with reciting the one prayers by Prahalad Maharaj to Narasimhadev. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशपालिने। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So from text 8, श्री प्रह्लाद उवाच ब्रह्मादया सुरगणा मुनयोत सिद्धा सत्त्वैकतायो वचसां प्रवाहैः नारादितुं पुरुगुणैरधुनापि पितरोः किन्तोष्टुमर्हति समे हरिप्रजाते। मन्ये धनाभिजनरूपतपश्रुतौ जस्तेज पौरुषबुद्धियोगा नारायणाय हि भवन्ति परास्य पुंसो भक्त्या तुतोष भगवान् प्रचयुतपाया विप्राद्विषड्गुणयुतादरविन्दनाभा पादारविन्दविमुखा स्वपचान्तरिष्ठम् मन्ये तदर्पितमनोवचस्मेहि आर्ता प्राणं पुनाति सकुलं न तु भूरिमानाम् नैवात्मना प्रभुरयं निजलाभपूर्णो मानं जनादविशुद्ध करुणावृणीते अविदूषकरुणो विनीते यद्यज्जनो भगवते विदतीतमानां तच्चात्मने प्रतिमुखस्य यथा मुखश्री तस्मादहं विगतविक्लव ईश्वरस्य सर्वात्मना महि गृह्णामि यथा मनीषम् नीचो जयं गुणविसर्गमनुप्रविष्ट पूयेत येन हि पुमान् अनुवर्तितेन सर्वे हि अमिविधिकरस्तव सत्त्वधाम्नो ब्रह्मादयो वयमिवेश न चोदित्यन्ता क्षेमाय भूतय उतात्मसुखाय चास्य विक्रीडितं भगवतो रुचिरावतारैः तद्यज्जन्मनो असुरचाहतस्त्वयाध्या मोदेत साधुरपि वृच्छिकसर्पहत्या लोकश्च निवृत्तिमिता प्रतियन्ति सर्वे रूपं नृसिंहविभयाय जना स्मरन्ति नाहं दिवेमि भयानकस्य जिह्वार्कनेत्रभ्रुकुटीरसोग्रदंष्ट्रात् आन्त्रसृजक्षतजकेसरशङ्कुकर्णा दिगिभात् अरिभिन्नकाग्रात् त्रस्तोऽस्मि अहं कृपणवत्सलदुःसहोग्र संसारचक्रकदनाद्रसतां प्रणीताः बद्धा स्वकर्मभिरुषात्मते अङ्घ्रिमूलम् प्रीतोपवर्गशरणं वयसे कदा नु यस्मात् प्रिया वियोगसंयोगजन्म शोकाग्निना सकलयोनिषु दह्यमानां दुःखौषधं तदपि दुःखमदात्याहम् भूमान् भ्रमामि वद मे तव दास्ययोगम् सोऽहं प्रियस्य सुहृदा परदेवताया लीलाकथास्तव नृसिंह विरिञ्च गीता तितर्मि अनुगृणम् गुण विप्रमुक्तो दुर्गाणि ते पदम् युगालया हंससङ्गा बालस्य नेह शरणं पितरो नृसिंहा नाथस्य चागदम् उदन्ति मज्जतो नौ तप्तस्य तत् प्रतिविधिर्य इञ्जशेष ज्येष्ठाः तावद्विभोतनुव्रतन् त्वदुपेक्षितानाम् यस्मिन् यतो यर्हि येन च यस्य यस्माद् यस्मै यता यदुतयस्त्व अपराः परो वा भावः करोति विकरोति पृथक् स्वभावा संचोदितस्तदखिल भवात्ता स्वरूपम् हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So today we are going to see the 16th, 18th, and 17th, and if possible 18th also. Shloka will continue with that. So actually there are 50 shlokas to be read, but as we are going, uh, I just read out 20 shlokas, but almost there are many shlokas which are coming up, which are told by Prahalad Maharaj. So one by one, we'll take it and we'll go in depth in each of the shlokas in whatever capacity of understanding we have by Krishna's mercy. We'll see how here we can go forward with the entire prayer series of Prahlad Maharaj. Okay, so this will start now. So as we know, in the 16th shloka, anybody we had 1 day break yesterday. So can anybody, and before that we discussed Damodar Leela a bit. So before that, maybe 2 days before, we just read the 16th shloka and we had discussed about it. Anybody can tell me what all you remember from that 16th shloka or whatever you remember previously what we have discussed. Hare Krishna. Anybody, whatever, even a small thing, no problem. Whatever you remember, you can tell that what we were discussing in the 16th shloka. Anybody?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Maharaj.
In text 16, Prahalad Maharaj prays to the Lord that he is born into a family of fallen souls. And he is in the and he is surrounded by demons. And demons because of his activities he is telling. And I don't know how I will be living in this material world. So I don't want any material pleasure or benedictions. I want only to satisfy my goal of life, that is to worship your lotus feet. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. It's very nice. Yeah, exactly. That's what like Prahlad Maharaj is praying here. So just go through the translation once again. 16, 17, 18. So 16, Prahlad Maharaj, just a recap for all of you. Uh, he's telling, O powerful, O most powerful, insurmountable Lord, who are kind to the fallen souls, I have been put into the association of demons as a result of my activities, and therefore I'm very much afraid of my condition of life within this material world. When will that moment come when you will call me to the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the ultimate goal for the liberation of conditioned soul? Then the 17th will read out. O Great One, O Supreme Lord, because of the combination with pleasing and displeasing circumstances, and because of separation from them, one is placed in the most regrettable position within heavenly and or hellish planets, as if burning in the fire of lamentation. Although there are many remedies by which to get out of the miserable life, any such remedies in the material world are more miserable than the miseries themselves. Therefore, I think that only remedy is engage in your service. Kindly instruct me in such service. O my Lord Narasimhadev, by engaging in your transcendental loving service in the association of devotees who are liberated soul, Hamsas, I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of three modes of material nature and be able to chant the glories of your lordships, who are so dear to me. I shall chant your glories, following exactly the footstep of Lord Brahma and his disciplic succession. I, in this way, I shall undoubtedly be able to cross the ocean of nonsense. So, we just read three verse translation. So here, uh, as now Mataji summarized the 16th shloka, that Prahlad Maharaj is praying to the Lord about getting his mercy and Angri Moolam. I want to take shelter of your lotus feet. That's what Prahlad Maharaj is telling here. Uh, so, so here we can see in the previous shloka to this, that's the 15th shloka itself, Prahlad Maharaj is telling that, my dear Lord, I'm not afraid of your ferocious form, right? That's what Prahlad Maharaj is telling here. And he explains how the form is looking. And he tells, I'm not afraid. Why? Because I know your intention of this form, and it's only for the protection of the devotees. So, therefore, in the 16th shloka, Prahlad Maharaj is telling that, therefore, I want to take your shelter of your lotus feet, my dear Lord. I am only afraid. Yes, I am afraid. I'm not afraid of your form, of this ferocious form, but I'm afraid of what? Of forgetting you, of forgetting your lotus feet. I'm afraid of going far away from your devotional service, of not getting devotional service. This is what a devotee is afraid of. He's not afraid of anything else because he has taken the shelter of Abhaya Charanara Vindare, right? There is a song, beautiful song. Uh, Bajahu re mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. So Lord's lotus feet is Abhaya Charanara Vinda. So devotee takes the shelter of the lotus feet. So the only afraid is that to be away from those lotus feet. So devotees tell, if you can see the picture, Krishna's lotus feet are always entangled, like they're not straight, they're crisscross, right? Two legs are crossing each other. To stand like that, it's not very easy. You know, Tribanga, the form is not very easy, but Krishna is standing in that form. And devotees sometimes they in ecstasy. They tell, let me put my head in between those two twin legs. They call it as twin legs because they're crossing each other and standing in a very particular crooked way. So devotees tell, let me put uh, my head, my forehead, my entire head into this and let it get stuck in between these two legs. Like how in Damodar Leela we see Krishna's the grinding motor of which Krishna was bound, right? Because why? Uh, if you see the Damodar Leela, Yashoda Maya is binding first the grinding motor and then making Damodar stand, and then she is binding the Damodar's belly, right? So why is that? Many times acharyas predict that because we saw in the previous class that we were discussing that when Krishna ran to the storeroom and he saw butter pots hanging above, he was thinking a way to reach them. And this grinding motor was of Krishna's height, and this motor helped Krishna to climb up and to steal the butter. So when the main criminal is caught, the person who helped that criminal also gets caught. He also gets the same punishment. So Yashoda Maya thinks my child has done this crime of stealing the butter. But who helped my child? This grinding motor. So first punishment is to that grinding motor. She first binds that grinding motor and then she binds Damodar, and both are bound now. Like they are what they tell partner in crime. So that's how and they're bound. But when they saw the Yamalarjuna trees, the two Arjuna trees, there is a tree called Arjuna Vriksha. There's a specific species. So these are called Yamalarjuna. They were uh, twin trees together with the same root. So when Krishna saw that, he got fascinated out of his Leela Shakti. He went and he went between those two trees. Okay, between those two trees. Now, if you understand that the grinding motor is very tiny, if it can fit Krishna's size, it's not so huge, right? Krishna was just maybe uh, 2 years or 1.5 years. His body was so tiny, and the motor motor grinder is also of Krishna's size. It's not so huge, right? But when it went in between those two trees, what happened? It got stuck. But as far as human, you know, thing is concerned, tree is not that strong as the motor grinder, right? Motor grinder is weak because it's just two side and the middle part is hollow for grinding purpose, and it's just made up of wooden. So if Krishna can drag it, a small baby can drag it, it's not so strong. It's not so strong. It could have been easily broken. And trees are so huge. It's said that when these two trees were falling down, their land was quite shaking. Like it was shaking because there's huge tree. So now you can think that these trees were so huge, and Krishna is so tiny in front of that tree, and the motor grinder which was bound to Krishna was also tiny of his own size, and it's not so strong that it can break the two trees. Right? If Krishna can drag, then it's not so huge. But why it broke? It didn't break, it entirely uprooted the two trees. How was it possible? Because Krishna wanted it. Krishna empowered the motor grinder, that what to tell, the grinding this machine. He empowered it to uproot those two trees. He empowered the rope which was on his belly. tied and connected to the motor grinder. He empowered the motor grinder so that it can uproot those two trees. So even though Krishna is in the form of a small Bal Gopal child, he is not a ordinary child. That's why Krishna in Bhagavad Gita tells Janma Karma Chame Divyam. My pastime, my birth is not that of a small any other human child. It's something different. And here we can see how um, Krishna is empowering the motor grinder to what to do? To uproot those two trees. Right? So that's what here. So similarly, when we how that motor grinder got stuck in between those two trees, let the devotee's forehead get stuck between those two lotus feet of Krishna, which are entangled around themselves. They're like twin lotus feet, which are entangled like a crooked, and let the devotee's head get stuck between those two and never leave it. Hmm? So here Prahlad Maharaj is telling, let me take the shelter of your lotus feet. Further, as we go forward, I'll also take some things from the purport as well, because Prabhupada's purport is everything. If suppose there was no purport, there was just sloka and translation, I think we would have struggled very much. We would have not even known what these shlokas are telling about. Because while reading Prabhupada's purport, it's not just about points. Sometimes we are stuck whenever there is exams, Bhakti Shastri exams, Bhakti Vaibhav exams. We are stuck to the points. It's very important that we need to write the points in those examinations. But when we are reading Prabhupada's purports, Prabhupada's book, it's not limited to points. Oh, Prabhupada has written a new point here. Prabhupada is pointing out this thing here. It's not just about points, it's about the mood of the devotee. When you're reading Prabhupada's book, when you're reading Prabhupada's uh, purports, we cannot understand Prabhupada's mood at all because we are very, very tiny in front of a great devotee. But at least we get a glimpse of how a pure devotee is by reading their purpose. So it's very important to not just focus on the points, but try to understand them and get them in our hearts. That's very important. So, translation here, 17th shloka. Yasmat priya vigato. 1 minute, this screen is coming. Middle. Just a second. Okay. Yasmat priya vigat viyoga samyoga janma शोकाग्निना सकलयोनिषु दह्यमानाः दुःखौषधं तदपि दुःखमताधियाहम् भूमान् भ्रमामि वद मे तव दास्य योगम्. So what is Prahlad Maharaj telling? He is praying to the Lord, O Great One, O Supreme Lord, because of combination with pleasing and displeasing. That is Priya Apriya, the second word. Yasmat Priya Apriya. Priya means pleasing, Apriya means displeasing circumstances. And because of separation from them, one is placed in the most regrettable position. Hmm? That is Shoka Agnina. Shokagnina. So that's what Prahlad Maharaj is the most regrettable position within heavenly and hellish planets, as if burning in fire of lamentation. Although there are many remedies, there are many remedies, dukkha ushadam, tadapi dukkha matadhyaha. But what is the use? The remedies are more miserable than the misery itself. Now we'll see how there is a beautiful example also. Uh, Most miserable themselves. Therefore, I think that only remedy is to engage in your service. Kindly instruct me in such service. Dasya Yogam. So here Prahlad Maharaj is telling, now previously as we know, Prahlad Maharaj from the 8th, I'll just recap so that we understand the flow of the prayer, what Prahlad Maharaj is having. So Prahlad Maharaj starts praying, telling that I am not qualified, I am from Ugrajate, I am from the Asurik family. Then he tells, no, no, because just because I'm born in an Asurik family, it doesn't make me disqualified because Krishna doesn't see all these externals. He sees the heart of the devotee. And I know I'm the servant of Lord Narasimhadev and he is my supreme father. So I know that he's not seeing my external factor, that whether I'm coming from an aristocratic family or an asuric family. He's just seeing my love and I love him. So he's definitely going to accept my prayers. So I am qualified to pray. So in the second, in the ninth shloka, Prahlad Maharaj tells, yes, I am qualified to pray and therefore I'll pray. And why not? If a swapacha, then in the 10th shloka it is, if a swapacha, a dog eater, can become qualified more than that of a brahmana who has 12 qualification just because he is a great devotee. The dog eater is a great devotee of the Lord, or the family, a devotee coming from the family of a dog eater is much more having love for the Lord than a Brahmana who has 12, all 12 qualities, but is averse of the lotus feet. He is not that devotee. So Krishna is not seeing the externals, whether he is a Brahmana or a Shwapacha. Then Prahlad Maharaj tells, yes, and I can pray to the Lord. Why? Because when I pray to the Lord and I see that Lord is happy, then the entire creation becomes happy and the devotee who is praying also becomes happy. And it's not benefiting somebody else, it's benefiting the one who is praying to the Lord. So in the 11th and 12th shloka, Prahlad Maharaj is telling that whatever capacity I have, which you have kindly given to me, my Lord, I am going to use them in service of you by praying to you. So because we know Prahlad Maharaj, Narasimhadev kept his lotus palm on Prahlad's head, giving him all the capacity to pray. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling, whatever capacity you have given just now, like whatever you have given me, I'm going to pray to you according to that capacity. Then, as we go through in the 12th and the 13th shloka, Prahlad Maharaj further tells that whatever intelligence allows me to do, I'm going to do in that way. And here, and then he tells, my dear Lord, you are showing this form, ferocious form of a hungry lion who is waiting for hunting his prey. Such a uh, angry mood you have taken, and see all the demigods are scared. And Prahlad Maharaj starts chastising. This is all in ecstasy. Prahlad Maharaj is not sitting and planning that first I'll pray like this, then I'll pray like that, then I'll tell this shloka, then that shloka. Prahlad Maharaj is not planning here. If you see the flow of his prayer, he's not planning and telling anything. He's just telling in ecstasy when he sees the Lord. Then he tells, my dear Lord, you are showing this ferocious form, and all demigods are afraid of you. But my Lord, I am not afraid. Naham bibemi, the 15th shloka, he tells, I'm not afraid of you. But I'm only afraid, in the 16th shloka, it tells, I'm only afraid that I should not forget you. Right? So therefore, I'm taking your lotus feet as my only shelter. And in the 17th shloka, he tells that why I'm taking the shelter of your lotus feet? Because the only and only mean to get out of the miserable condition of this material world is your service. Now, if you see, we can make it as a dialogue also here. Because, see, when Prahlad Maharaj is praying like that, internally Narasimha Devi is also reciprocating. Whenever a devotee does something, Krishna immediately wants to reciprocate. Right? It is told when we take the parikrama of the Lord's altar. We do this parikrama. We go around the Lord's altar. It's told that the Lord is also trying to face to you. Like when you're going on the left side and you're turning towards the back of the altar, it's told although deity is standing in front, they are showing the face on the front, and you're walking on the back side of the altar. Internally, Lord is also facing to you because He wants to reciprocate to you, and therefore it's told in even in like of devotion and so many places that in the afternoons when the Lord is put to the rest or He's given the bhoga and He's having food items, we are not supposed to take parikrama of the temple because it's told that when we are having doing the parikrama, Lord is also facing towards us. So when He's sleeping or when He's having the food, when we if we take parikrama, we are kind of disturbing the Lord because He wants to reciprocate to us, but at the same time He's having the food also. Yes, Lord is um, omniscient. He has multi-potential potencies. He can do many things at a time, but still, as an in the mood of a devotee and the Lord, a devotee always tries to serve the Lord, and he feels that if I do parikrama and Lord wants to see me from all sides, and he is having boga, that's not correct. So he'll wait till the Lord finishes his boga or finishes his yoga nidra, gets up, then the devotee takes the parikrama. Even the pranam, some devotees they don't even do pranam to the Lord when the altar is closed because they think if I do pranam and the Lord is having a nice shayana sleep, and if I'm going and paying obeisance, the Lord has to stand in front of you. Whenever you are praying, paying obeisances to the Lord, it's like Lord is coming and standing in front of you, and you are paying Him obeisances. And now the Lord is in Shayana and you're paying obeisances. It's like you're telling the Lord, get up and come in front of me because I'm paying obeisances. So sometimes devotees don't even pay obeisances when the altars are closed. So it's the mood of the devotee, how they see the Lord. And also, there are vast rules also of temple worship or deity worship, but Prabhupada didn't give much weightage to those very much high kind of deity worship standard, but he gave us the standards of deity worship where we can uh, easily reciprocate with the Lord or easily we can worship the Lord in the right mood. At the same time, we can do our sadhana, reading, and everything properly. So this is how Lord wants to reciprocate to us. So as Prahlad Maharaj is praying, Narsimadev internally is countering Prahlad Maharaj. Oh, you want my lotus feet? So Prahlad Maharaj is telling, yes, the only thing I want is your Angri Moolam. I want your lotus feet. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling, oh, Narsimadev is telling, oh Prahlad, why? Like my lotus feet, it's so like only two lotus feet is there and it's so small. It's just lotus feet. Who wants to sit down? Everybody wants to climb up. You want to come and sit down at my lotus feet? No, no, no. See your father, how was he? He was sitting on a great throne. And the ladders were made up of all the planets. He used to step on those planets and climb and sit on his throne. And he had controlled everyone. And he was enjoying like anything else. That's why his name was Hiranyakashipu. He was just enjoying. He was enjoying the gold. He was enjoying pleasure so much. So, why you want to sit at my lotus feet? Go sit on the throne of your father and enjoy the three worlds. What is, there's so much to enjoy. Narasimhadev is telling Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj in this shloka is telling, what is the use, my lord? What is the use? My father, although he was so called enjoying, but within a second you ripped him off. You made the two pieces of his body. It was just, It was just a matter of second for you, my lord. Just a matter of second. What my father did for years and years of collecting wealth and collecting enjoyment and trying to enjoy, did so much tapasya. He made Brahmaji give him boon. He enjoyed so much. But what is the use? You came in seconds, you ripped him off. So, is this the way of material happiness? Where it is temporary, priya, apriya, whereas sometimes happy, sometimes sad. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, I have seen my father having, although he's enjoying externally, but internally he was so scared. It's common that the one who does so much sense gratification, so much sex life, you see them, they have fear in their heart. You see any people who have done excess of sense gratification in their life, their body is so dull, their brain goes dull, they their entire body gets weakened after sometimes, although artificially they might look very young, but internally if you see, they are broken. The best examples can be all these celebrities, they have externally they look very beautiful, very shining and everything, but if you see their internal strength, they're zero. They're zero. They don't have any strength internally and always in fear. The one who runs behind this sense gratification, money, and sex life, if you see them, they're always in fear, always in fear. Therefore, you see these birds, animals, especially those birds, you see them, they come, have those grains fallen on the ground, but they're always fear if somebody catches them. And they run away. Even though you're standing a mile away and you're just walking by your own, the birds think that person is going to attack me and they run away. You see, because there's so much fear because they're always indulged in such activities. Animals also in that case, and in that case even humans who are excessively eh, engaged in that. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying, I have seen my father going through it. I have seen that. Externally, he might be a king, so called Asura Variya, but internally, he was having so much scared in his heart that anytime Vishnu might come. You see, people, they get easily agitated. You just speak them one thing, you are just doing this wrong, they just get over agitated and tell, how can you tell that? You tell, Arey, I just told this one point is wrong. Why are you thinking that entire thing is wrong? Why? Because there is so much weakness and so much scarcity of losing their position, maybe, or losing their sense gratification, you know, it's so much. And that's why in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in the end, Krishna tells that how the degradation of the consciousness happens, right? First the contemplation, then thinking, then willing to meet, then sense gratification. Senses want to meet its sense gratification. Then excessive of sense gratification, attachment. That is nothing but excessive of sense gratification, either mentally or physically, it doesn't matter, excessive. Then what happens? Slowly and slowly, uh, there is a fear of losing those things. What gives me so called enjoyment, I should not lose. And that's what you see so many celebrities, they don't want to look older. They don't want to look older. They want to look always young. So they'll color their hair, they'll put through 2, 3 injections to make them look very young. So much artificial. Their entire body looks artificial after sometimes. You know, they don't want to look younger at the same older at the same time. They don't want to stop their sense gratification. So their life is so much mess. So much mess. That's why you see they get married and they get divorced, then they get another married, that divorce, and children's are of first wife, second wife, children are separate. Then between children there is no harmony. They are in a different world. So many things. So many things. If you this is Indian, if you go to Western celebrities, it's much more harder. There is no concept of marriage. There is no concept of marriage. So how much sense gratification they can do, and at the end, they don't want to lose that. They don't want to lose that. Prabhupada always gives devotees. They give the example of Michael Jackson. You know, he never wanted to look older. He wanted to live very very long time. Prabhupada says this is what even Hiranyakashipu wanted, right? He wanted to live a very long life, long and long life. So, but at the same time, they don't want to look old. They don't want to lose their sense gratification. So many things, and so even Michael Jackson wanted the similar thing. He wanted to enjoy, whatever wealth he had. With the wealth what he had, he created his own lab where it's told that if his kidney gets failed, a new brand new kidney is ready immediately to replace it. So even if its brain gets you know uh, dysfunctioning or malfunctioning, a new brain was kept in that lab so that immediately it can be uh, changed. Heart was kept, kidneys were kept, body parts were kept, so that immediate there can be changed and he can live for a long time. But what happened, at what age he expired? Within 50 years. Not even 50. I didn't think so. He crossed 50. He passed away before that. Right? Nobody can challenge Krishna's creation. How much ever artificial things we might create, how much ever artificial things we might do, we can never challenge Krishna's creation. We can never ever challenge Krishna's creation. I want to live long without Krishna's permission. Is it possible? No. This Titanic, it was challenging God. It's such a great ship, great ship that even God cannot sink, they told. And the first ride itself, it got sunk below. Uh, it hit the iceberg and it was down. We all know that story. And they have done a millions of crores of money with that movie. So we know nobody can challenge Krishna. Nobody can challenge God. If you challenge, Krishna is going to happily accept it. Krishna is happily accepting your challenge because he loves challenges. He wants to show his power. Normally, Krishna is very silent to the atheist, very much silent. He just does not speak. But if the atheists start challenging, Krishna is going to create a havoc in their life because now we are challenged the Supreme Lord. That's how uh, Krishna is. He never wants uh, anybody's harm. But then, if you want to harm, nobody can harm you unless you harm yourself. So, if you want to harm yourself, you challenge Krishna with arrogance, and nobody can save you then. Mare Krishna Rakeke, Rake Krishna Mareke. For devotee, Krishna is Rake Krishna Mareke. Nobody can kill a devotee or even try to harm a devotee. Devotee is eternal, whether in this life or next life. Devotee is eternally, he is a devotee of the Lord. And for atheists who challenge existence of the Lord, for them, Mare Krishna Rakeke, who can save them if Krishna wants to destroy their pride. So that's how um, Krishna is. So here, Prahalad Maharaj is telling that, my dear Lord, you didn't spare my father who was challenging you, who was an atheist embodiment. Although, if you see previous some chapters where Hiranyakashipu is speaking on the death of funeral of Hiranyaksha. We all know Varahadev killed Hiranyaksha and his body was cremated by Hiranyakashipu, funeralized, and that time he gives a very brilliant speech. Hiranyakashipu gives a very brilliant speech about so many things. It does so. Hiranyakashipu knew about soul. He knew about so many things. It was not that Hiranyakashipu was completely an atheist or something. He knew about devatas. He prayed to Brahma. He did not go to control Brahma, if you see. He prayed to Brahma and he got the boon. But he controlled all other Devi Devatas because all of them were worshipping Vishnu. So whoever was worshipping Vishnu was the enemy for Hiranyakashipu. So basically, Hiranyakashipu was the enemy of Vishnu and he didn't like anybody worshipping Lord. So that he was a servant of his own ego. And that's why if you see Prahalad Maharaj speaking to Hiranyakashipu, he tells, my dear Lord, my dear father, nobody is your enemy unless your own mind is your enemy. So he tells this. Right? So here Prahalad Maharaj is telling that my dear Lord, you killed my father and now you're telling me to accept what my father has left. It's not possible. I don't want any enjoyment in my life because I've got the highest. When you taste the highest taste, you don't feel like going to the lower taste, right? So Prahlad Maharaj is here. Normally it happens, right? You got some Karela sabji or Karela fry and you got gulab jamun. In a taste wise, you don't like Karela. Normal. Definitely we don't like Karela because it's very kadwa. Yes, health wise, some people might like it. But taste wise, if you go give to a 5-year-old kid, which one he'll take? Definitely he'll take the gulab jamun because it has a higher taste. Right? The taste is higher. So the devotee has got the highest taste in his life, taste of service to the Lord, and he does not want anything else. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling the same thing that, my dear Lord, this world is made up of like and dislikes. Our mind has only one thing, only one word, that I like this, I don't like this. I like this, I don't like this. I like this person, I don't like this person. I like this sweet, I don't like this sweet. Right? Sometimes even highest. I like what I speak, I don't like the what others speak. Right? So mind is always playing with like and dislikes. Um, so therefore sometimes it's very hard to differentiate ourselves with the mind. Right? It's very hard. We think I don't like this food, but actually it's not I, it's my mind which is making me, convincing me that you don't like. So this is a creation of this world. That's why Prahlad Maharaj is telling this world is made up for Priya and Apriya. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkadaha Agama Payino Anityam Tam Titikshasva Bharata. Be tolerant, my dear Arjuna. Be tolerant. Because why? This world is made up of dualities. If you go to spiritual world, there is no dualities, good or bad, day and night. There is nothing like that in spiritual world. Everything is bright, everything is good. You Krishna's world cannot Krishna's Krishna can never give us bad. You think Krishna can ever make anything bad? No, he's embodiment of goodness. His embodiment of goodness. Krishna's intentions are good. Krishna's actions are only good. Krishna's speech is only good. Krishna's walking is always good. Krishna's dancing is good. Krishna's world is good. Krishna's devotees are good. Everything is positive. There is nothing negative. But why it is duality in this material world? because of our own mind. If this situation comes in my life, it's bad. If this situation comes in my life, it's good. We think like that. The situation, what I think is bad, may be a good situation to a person who is sitting next to me. And what that person thinks bad is maybe good thing to me. So it's all coming from thinking. That's why Prahlad Maharaj tells the only enemy and friend what we think is our mind. And Krishna also tells this in sixth chapter that the only thing, if you conquer this mind, it's your best friend. If you cannot conquer this mind and mind is conquering you, then it's the worst case. And today we see mind is conquering us. Maya Devi plays with our mind. She's not bad. Maya is not bad. Maya is testing us so that tomorrow when we go to the spiritual world, we don't create the same havoc what we created here. So she's very, very conscious about serving Krishna. And she chooses the best of the devotees to go back. So here, um, Prahlad Maharaj is telling Priya Apriya. This world is full of good and bad, combination of good and bad, and it's more dukkha. It gives only miseries. So people think if I had this, I would have been good. Or if this situation was there in my life, then everything was comfortable, right? Sometimes we feel, even in devotional life, we feel, oh, if my family was supportive, then I could have done much more greater. You know, if today I didn't have any other thing, I just had only chanting, then my chanting would have been good. Or if something happened, then it would have been good. So always we end up in if and stop doing our activities, right? And when that situation comes, now for example, I feel if I had a good mobile, 30 lakhs ka mobile or 30 lakhs ka car, if I had, then I would have been much more happy. If I had kids, I would have been more happy. If I had, siblings, I would have been more happy. If I had good parents, I would have been more happy. If I had good partner, I would have been more happy. But when Krishna gives us those things, we are not satisfied. And suppose Krishna gives us all these things, all best of the best things, then what is the next fear? Oh, if I lose that, first thing is if Krishna would have given me $100, it would have been good. And Krishna mercifully gave me $100. The next anxiety is, oh, Krishna gave me $100. Now, if I lose it, so everything is if in this world. Why? Because there's a lot of ignorance. We don't know what is the next step. When I take another step in my life, I don't know whether I live or die. Hmm. So everything is in ignorance. That's why the world is full of darkness. And Krishna mercifully has sent a sun by which we can see uh, the world in the daylight. So here Prabhupada is further telling about uh, how there are so much dualities in this world, and the next thing, very the first part tells about how dualities work in this world. Then Prahlad Maharaj is telling that okay, there are dualities, there is so much great anxiety, there's so much unhappiness, so much pain in this world that people try to think of remedies. What are the scientists doing? Why did they bring AI? Why did they bring so much robotic things? See, if you see the development, maybe after in this Kali Yuga, maybe 500 years ago, it starts. Then slowly it starts with first. Ayurvedic medicines were already there, and it's given by Krishna himself as Dhanvantri. He had given this Ayurveda. But in the Ayurveda itself, we can see so many advancement, so many things people have started applying, and maybe the authentic Ayurveda is no more there because such plans are no more available. Hmm? The thing which were available in Satyuga are not available in Kali Yuga. So you can't tell the authentic Ayurveda is still present now. No, maybe it's not there, or maybe other supplementary things have come up in Ayurveda itself. So there is changes, and as we went forward, this industrial revolution came. Why did they bring this industrial revolution? They thought if you do it very quickly, then what happens? The work becomes easy. Because work is always giving us unhappiness. We don't want to work. We don't want to work so many hours. And what we wanted to develop, so called development and so called fast speed. If you see civilization, today's so called civilization is only focusing on speed. They just want speed. The speedest car, speedest bike, speedest internet, speedest, what to tell, um, the shortest duration, right? People are behind this. People don't want to engage. That's why you see, hardly you can see libraries nowadays. Hardly. There is one central library in the entire city, and hardly people go there to read because Kindle has come, so-called books have come, everything is in mobile. They don't have even in internet, web pages have come, e-books have come. It's good in one way, but it's not so good also, because our body is not meant to see so much light exposure for so long. Krishna has created us in a specific way. Respect that creation. Why we want to do our own way? When Krishna has created a certain thing, you think God creates without using his brain? Oh, I'll give two legs to the human so that they can walk very slowly, and Krishna is giving only two legs, and he's making us stand, and then the scientists say, oh, why God has created so dull? This world is so dull. Let me give some masala and they'll put this vehicles. I remember a devotee was telling that initially walking is much more good. Today, people are going to the gym so that they can walk. Krishna gave us such a beautiful creation, such a beautiful body that we can walk, we can do so many things, so many. Krishna has given us such a brilliant brains to use everything in its service, but we are very much worse in not respecting those creations, right? Krishna has given so beautiful things. And initially, people were walking from one place to another, and it was so nice. There was so much harmony, and people were used to it. It's not that somewhere in the jungle you are stuck, you don't know the way. No, even in the jungle, there were sages who were doing the sacrifice. And in case you missed out, you can go to that sage and ask. The sage will give you the way. It was not something unnatural thing. Today, if you get stuck in the jungle, you are gone. You cannot return back. You can't relate to this current period to that period. That ancient period was something different. If you are in a jungle, you know how to tackle the wild animals. You have become expert in it. Today, if lion comes in the city, there is havoc. Because never people have never seen other than Google searching how the lion looks like. People have never seen the lion in front of them. But in previous age, they didn't have all these guns or anything. But still they knew fire can make these wild animals run away, and they were ready with the stone. They'll spark immediately. They'll create a fire and they'll make this animal shoo away immediately. They knew it. But today, nobody knows. They'll take one gun and they'll shoot, and the animal is also dead. Previously, people were showing the fire, but they were conscious that it should not harm the animal also. See the see the difference. People knew that I want to save my life. At the same time, I don't want to kill this animal also. Even though it's wild animal, I don't want to kill because jungle it's its home. I have entered its home. It's my my wrong thing. I have entered in his path. He's always living here, so I don't want to kill him. But it's very ferocious. So I want to, and in case he can't make anything else, then he has to kill that animal. Ultimately, he has to save his life because human life is very rare, and you have to use it in service of the Lord. So you have to save this human life, and ultimately, in case something happens, so self defense he has to do it. Other than that, he should not any harm to those animals. They knew it, but today, very easy. From far only you can finish the work, right? So today's civilization, even before the vehicles were bullock carts, horse, chariots, very pleasing. You can see the scenery, go around, so much things. And people were not criminals like today. Today, we have to be very careful if you're going alone in the night. Very difficult, very horrible. But in previous bullock carts, they were going in the night, traveling. People were there who were dacoits also, so many things were there, but they knew that they will be saved. It was not so spoiled civilization like today. Today you see there is Ferrari, there is Ford, so much, and so much hit and run cases have come. People rashly drive. They don't care about animals. They don't care about humans. They don't care about kids. They just rashly drive and they don't care because there is no touch of pain. If you hit somebody, your vehicle is hitting that person. You are not hitting. If you are hitting, then you will know the pain of that thing. Your vehicle is hitting. So you people have become hard-hearted. You see the structure of this today's world. People have completely become hard-hearted. So they went from reducing the miseries to creating more miseries. That's what Prahalad Maharaj is telling here. Dukkaushadam tadapi dukkam athadiyah. My dear Lord, people are thinking their remedies will reduce the misery, but opposite, the the remedies itself are creating much more havoc in the society. Mm. So to kill the to burst the granites and everything, they created atom bombs, and today people are using to kill people. So definitely, in previous time they created guns for hunting, but today people are hunting people. So miseries are creating much more miseries. And what is the only solution? Bringing people at the lotus feet of Lord. And how is this going to work? By making people Krishna consciousness. They'll understand that Lord is everywhere. Everywhere the Lord is there, present. And He is the one who is present in everybody's heart. You see, devotees, previously they used to do so many things. So many non-vegetarians, they came to Krishna consciousness and now they are even scared to even give pain to any other creature. We have the best example in the Shastra, Mrigari, right? Mrigari is the best example how he changed. So if everybody becomes Krishna conscious, then automatically the world is going to become Vaikuntha. And Prabhupada did that, and he wants us also to do it. So preaching, don't take it lightly. The preaching work, it's something which is making Krishna pleased. And when our vision is vast, then we'll pray to Krishna in that vast heart that, my Lord, you manifest in the form of holy name and you change the heart of people. Jagai Madai can become again back to uh, the Madhava and Jagannath, whatever their names were, Brahmanas, they became Jagaimana and now returned back to their original and became more greater Vaishnavas. Right? The prostitute became a great Vaishnavi. Right? The Mrigari became a great devotee. Right? So many examples are given in the Shastra. So when Krishna comes into our life, he gives us the knowledge to get back to him. When Krishna tells, I give you the knowledge by which you can come back to me, it's not a knowledge of some formulas Krishna will give me or some light Krishna will show me. No. Krishna will give you the knowledge, basic knowledge of living. And with that living, when you worship Krishna, you feel happiness. In this life itself, you will get the glimpse of spiritual life in this very life of this material world. You'll start enjoying Krishna's loving devotional service. So that's how Prahlad Maharaj is also praying here. That, my dear Lord, only way to get out of this misery is your lotus feet, your service, nothing else. So kindly engage me in that service. So Prahlad Maharaj, by praying, he's telling us that only way is to serve the Lord. Right? So this is very, very beautiful shloka which Prahlad Maharaj is telling. And continuing with that 17th shloka, 18th shloka, Prahlad Maharaj is telling that my dear Lord Narasimhadev, by engaging in your loving service in the association of devotees who are liberated. So whom I want to serve first is that I told I want to serve you, give me your devotional service. But wait, my Lord, wait. Before giving your devotional service or your service, I first want to serve your devotees. This we will see in tomorrow's class about the importance of serving a devotee of the Lord. Why Prahlad Maharaj is emphasizing. First, he tells, I want to take a shelter of your lotus feet. Then he tells, I want to serve you, my Lord. Then he tells, wait. I before serving you, or more important than serving you, my Lord, I want to serve your devotees who are like Hamsas, who are liberated souls. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling like this. And tomorrow we'll continue why he is telling this way, and we'll also see the importance of serving a devotee of the Lord. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji,
Beautiful
Danda
narration.
Pranam. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam bhavebhyo vaishnavebhyo नमः। हरे गुरुदेव वैष्णव की जय, श्रील प्रपात की जय, प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.